What's going on, Uchias? We are back with One Piece chapter 1152, entitled A Horrible Day. Well, we start off with the cover story here. We have Yamato, Kawamatsu, OT, and the little Kurozumi girl. I forget her name. Let me see if they have it down here. They have her name here. They don't have it. But anyway, it's a beautiful cover story here. Now, the chapter starts off, everybody is scrambling like roaches, all right? You have the other giants. They're running, they're trying to get to the lift to get back up top. So that way they can, save the children, fight, Dorian Brogy. Because, Chopper gave them a rundown what's been going on. So then we have Gabon and Chopper. And Chopper tells Luffy, he's a Luffy, we can't move Gabon, his injuries is too grave, So this Luffy was like, I got it. I'm gonna leave it to you, Chopper. Then Gabon calls out to Luffy and says, hey Luffy, just have a mental note. Put this in your toolbox. Watch how you use your Supreme King, the color of the Supreme King Haki. And Luffy, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Tenfold. Yes, sir. I got you. And then he calls out to Sanji and Zoro and says, hey, you have the Supreme King color too. So Sanji gets all excited and runs up on Gabon and is like, he looks at, you talking to me, old man? Is it me? And then Gabon busts his bubble and said, you swordsman there, it's you. And then Zoro, he's like, I had the color of the Supreme King. And Luffy is like, what? Man, it's oozing off of you. How did you not know? So, Gabon is like, man, you need to be able to use your Haki, your Supreme King Haki at will, to be able to control it. How you going to support, your captain? And then Zoro's like, yeah, my bad. Now, this whole time, I thought Zoro knew he had the color of Supreme King. I thought he knew, he had Conqueror's Haki. With his past battles, with King, So I thought he knew it this whole time. But I guess not. Thank you, Gabon, for letting him know. So then it goes on to Loki. And Loki is talking with Harujin. And he's like, hey, look, take me with you. I got experience from fighting the God's Knights. And also, that explains my power. Thank you, Yasan. They call Gabon, Yasan. Thank you, Yasan. That explains my power. And plus, I have the experience of fighting the God's Knights. And, take me with you. And Harujin is like, no way. So, that tells you right there, Loki has the color of the Supreme King. He also has Conqueror's Haki. But I think they showed that when he had grabbed that hammer in previous chapters. So anyway, Harujin is like, absolutely not. There's no way I'm going to trust you. You betrayed us before and sided with the world government. There's no way I'm going to trust you. And then Gabon interrupts and Gabon said, hey, before that, Luffy was like, hey, Loki, join my crew. And Sanji and Zoro are like, no way. Zoro's like, ain't no way we gonna bring that guy with us. Where he is gonna fit on a ship. And Sanji's like, yeah. And besides, Luffy, what about the food? He eats more than you. And look, and Harujin was like, are you sure, Luffy? And Luffy was like, yeah, I want to see him fight. And Harujin was like, nah, Request denied, doggone it. So, Gabon is like, Loki, tell him the truth about what happened that day. Me and Shanks got there, but, we didn't know the whole story. You know what I'm saying? Tell him what happened, because, I don't know the whole story. And Harjin was like, Gabon, not you too. You want him to free Loki too? So he's all right, Loki. He said, the other giants, y'all go on back up. He said, Loki, you got 3 minutes to tell me what's going on. What happened? And Loki is like, brother, you are very cruel, making me relive that day. So Loki stopped telling him what happened. Long story short, Loki and Haro got summoned to see the king. And, they chopping it up there, they chopping it up there, talking one another here, and Loki had a fit with Yaru. He said, you know what, Yaru, is your simple-minded thinking of wanting peace so bad in the land that now we have a generation of children that don't know how to swing a weapon. And Yaru was like, man, my granddaughter's granddaughter, looks so cute and looks so much at peace, And Loki said, yeah, that's the problem. I've been laughing at that when I was reading that, So we hear it is now that the scene then switches to Gabon and Shanks. Shanks was in Elbaf at that time, 14 years ago, and they're in this big old pool and they're relaxing, chopping it up, talking about Roger and how long it's been since he's been dead. And then Ripley came in and surprised Shanks, but called him Shanksy. I don't know what translation, but one translation I saw Shanks Coon, and the other one she called him Shanksy. But I'm thinking it's Shanksy because I'm reading off a manga of his. So, he gets all shy. She said, tell me some stories about Gabon, about Yasan. And he said, you know what? When we was coming up, on every single port, Gabon had a different, and Gabon said, hey, you want to make it out of here alive? You about to tell on Gabon. So they get on out the pool there, out the bath or whatever they had, and they start chopping it up. And then the scene switches back to Loki and King Harold. Not King Harold, I'm sorry, Loki and Yaru. So as they talking, Loki kicks the door down, say, hey, Pops, I'm back. And then you see King Harold in all black, like a black shadows over him. And the soldiers of Elbaf have their spears pierced through him. Yaru is like, what? King Harold. And Loki is like, what's going on in here? What's the meaning behind this? So you really don't, it gives you that much right there. But it doesn't go into full detail as far as like what happened prior. Maybe they don't know. So then you look, King Harold, he gets stabbed through with the sword through his head. And then you see a whole bunch of giants dying. And they're getting hurt. You have one guy running to the door and he gets cut. It's not clear who is doing the killing. We don't know for sure 100% that it is Loki. It could have been King Harold doing all the killing. Then the scene switches to how King Harold was years before then, how he got his reputation, why everybody loved him so much. And then you see the young Dory and Brogy on his pirate crew on a giant ship. And after that, you see they obviously made land somewhere else to another kingdom, because another giant is peeking in the castle. And then King Yaru, well, I think he was Prince Yaru at that time, comes and kicks him and topples over the castle top. So, oops, my foot slipped. So the chapter then ends saying that Yaru was a real jerk. I'm paraphrasing. I don't want to say, I'm trying to keep things PG-13 on the channel. It said basically Yaru was a real jerk back then. It's looking real interesting. I'm looking forward to the next chapter to see the history of what's going on, what actually happened, and how did Loki get this fruit, and what is this fruit that Elbaf was passing on from generation to generation. It mentions that they saw the fruit, but it doesn't specifically says what it is. And will Sanji have Conqueror's Haki in the future or not? He might. He might. We have seen him use Haki, but not Conqueror's Haki. So we'll see if he gets it or not. We will have to wait and see what Oda cooks up next. Like the video if you did. Tell me if you would like this reaction to the chapter. I didn't want to get too spoilerish, but I'm pretty sure I hit all the main boxes. And tell me how I can do better in these reviews. Give the video a like if you did. Share this with your friends and subscribe. 5,000 subscribers. Hooray!